You're listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
What is up? Welcome to the Monday Night Mania edition of Sweep the League. It's another wrestling show. We're going to take a break from the major sports, NBA, NFL. We're going to have a lot of college football and NFL talk starting tomorrow with Derek Gervin, hopefully Coach Gio as well. But we're going to start our football talk tomorrow and the rest of the week and all the way up until training camp. But for tonight, let's take a little break. Like I said, from the major sports, WNBA coming off an All-Star weekend, a very successful All-Star weekend for the WNBA. Seeing a lot of that, just brought a very good feeling for the WNBA. The future's bright for the WNBA. We'll just say that. Team USA today had another scare against Germany. They ended up pulling out the victory against Germany, heading into the Paris Olympics. How do you think they're going to do? We're going to get into all of that again this week. But like I said, tonight we're taking a break here at Sweep the League. We're talking Monday Night Mania Wrestling, AEW, WCW from back in the day. If you want to talk a little bit about whatever, Lucha Libre, Lucha Underground, you want to go to the ECW days, WWE, whatever you guys want to talk about, you bring it up. I don't know everything and anything under the sun about them, so we can have a talk. You want to call into the show, we definitely have a call number for you guys that want to call into the show, give your wrestling takes, 830-499-1852. Again, the Sweep the League line is 830-499-1852. Let's get to some comments here. Tim Gonzalez, of course, Tar Heels still suck. AEW all the way. Leja's in here. MCS General Contracting. NCS General Contracting. We talk about foundations. You know what? You want them to build your wrestling ring? They can do that. I'm sure Leja and the boys can do that. Get your wrestling ring. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. What's good? Let's get it. We are going to get it, man. We are going to get it. Hopefully you can watch this Wednesday night AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts. I should be able to watch it. I don't see why I can't. Tell Coach Gio the Mariners can suck. Yeah, definitely. We will tell Coach Gio the Mariners they can't suck it. Definitely. Big time. What up, hermanos? Hey, Mario, how are you doing, Mario? Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a wrestling edition. It's the Monday Night Mania edition of Sweep the League. What's good, man? It's going to be me tonight. You guys got to put up with me tonight. So let's talk some wrestling, man. I'm kind of excited to get into a little bit of wrestling talk here. All right, man. So obviously it's Monday Night Raw. You guys want to come in? Call in 830-499-1852. The phone line is open. But nonetheless, last Wednesday you had AEW, and I don't know if it's like, I mean, could you call it the match of the year already? It was Ospreay. Sorry guys, you got to help me out here. Ospreay and MJF. I saw the match. That was probably the best match I have seen in a while. Oh man, that was amazing. Will and MJF showed up. Yeah, that was definitely an amazing match. I'm glad I actually caught it. I don't really watch a whole lot of AEW, so just watching that first match happen was mind-boggling for me. It was mind-blowing, put it that way. I thoroughly enjoyed it. MJF is a guy that I've actually seen a little bit from time to time. So I want to get you guys' thoughts. Is he going to ever make it to the WWE? Does he have any problems with that? I need to get all the backlog on that. This first wrestling segment brought to you by MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, we talk family, we talk foundation. Foundation is the most important part of anything. Family, home building, whether you're putting in that driveway or, you know what, if you own a business and you need a parking lot, everything's built on a foundation. MCS General Contracting are the leaders in contracting, general contracting, foundation pours, anything and everything you need from MCS General Contracting. They can provide it. Just give Chris Leja and the boys a call. They'll take care of you. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. This first segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. Will and MJF showed off. Yeah, we are talking about the match was good for the first 30 minutes and then was dog shit the last 30 minutes. I don't know, Chris. I mean, I'll be honest. I thoroughly enjoyed the entire match. I I liked it. I really did. There was a part of I think towards the end, it was kind of like everybody, they were both gassed. So I can maybe I can understand that part, how it was just kind of like, it was kind of getting a little boring. But at the end of the day, it was still a hell of a match, man. I mean, it was still a badass match. We got to give them props. That was a really good match. A lot of stuff, a lot of the chances that I think they were taking, I bring it up a lot, was Lucha Underground. I see a lot of chances taken at Lucha Underground, high flying maneuvers. It was really, really good. So I enjoyed it. It just felt like good, Chris. I really did. That's hard to say about match of the year. Really, see, that's just match of the year for me. I haven't watched a whole lot of wrestling this year, so I can't really give you ideas on what's the match of the year. Drop it in the comment. Drop a comment in here. Let me know what you guys think is match of the year so far. For me, like I said, it's MJF and Will. MJF can be in the WWE, but needs some fine tuning. So, what kind of fine tuning does he need? To me, he's got the charisma. I mean, obviously, he's got the mic skills, from what I can tell. I love the fact that he flicked off fans and actually flicked off a little girl. That, to me, that's just hilarious. And fans don't get upset about it. I mean, you can tell, sometimes dad's going to get all pissed off and go after a wrestler, but you know what? It's part of the show. And I just love that he does that. It just brings that villain type of character for a wrestler at MJF. And I loved every bit of piece of it. Happy birthday to Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. If you guys don't remember, thank you, Mario, for that. If you guys don't remember, when I was on 9:30 a.m. The Answer on Sweep the League and another sports show, I had my own theme music, and it was Shawn Michaels' Boy Toy theme music. So if you ever guys want to go back, just go to 930am.com, theanswer.com, and you can find a lot of the old Sweep the League and the other show, the podcast there. You can hear my theme music and all that in there. But yeah, shout out to Shawn Michaels. Happy birthday, the Heartbreak Kid himself. 59 minutes and 56 seconds, Will Ospreay versus MJF last week. That was the match. So to me, that was match of the year just for me. Like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of wrestling, so it's hard for me to tell. But what do you guys think about so far? We're in July. We're halfway through the year, basically past the halfway point. What did you think was the match of the year so far in wrestling, whether it be AEW, whether it be WWE, whether they still have TNA? I mean, it could even be a local thing. You watch Mission Pro Wrestling, you go live. You've got River City Wrestling. So you let me know. What do you think is match of the year so far? We'll get into a little bit of that here with some of y'all's comments. Was Stone Cold's theme music, intro music, the best? Good question. Y'all want to talk intro music. So I would say good question. Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music intro, the best. I think it was good. It was definitely a banger. Best, I'm going to say, man, that's a tough one because what's the most recognizable? I mean, probably Hulk Hogan's Real American Hero. It's probably the most recognizable one. Ric Flair's obviously is a very recognizable one. Is Stone Cold's the best? I would say probably yes, and the fact that it's probably the most intimidating entrance music. One of the most intimidating entrance musics for me. You hear the glass break, you hear that, that da-na-da-na-na-na. I mean, it's like you're about to get some. You're about to get your ass kicked. Or he's going to open up a can of whoop ass is basically what it is, and that's kind of the way you're feeling. You could hear like everything could be going off the rails and you would have a big old rumble in the ring. And then you hear the glass break, the music starts playing and it was just whoop ass time. So yeah, I would say I don't know if it's the best though. I don't know if Stone Cold's theme was the best. It's so hard because you've got so many iconic intro themes. You've got Stone Cold's, you've got The Rock. You've got obviously like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior. I love the catchy ones. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I mean, someone in here said the Second Road Warriors. I mean, there's a lot. To me, he wrestles like an indie star and not a WWE star, and talks like one. Good point, Chris. I can definitely see that with MJF. So I can see that he would definitely need to progress to get to that WWE level. Those are good points. I do see that in there. And again, you guys are helping me out here because I love talking wrestling. I just haven't followed it in a while, so I'd love to talk about it. Or Undertaker. Undertaker is very, very intimidating. Very intimidating intro music. It's the death walk. It's just. Should he have stayed the Undertaker the whole time? Was it just kind of? Did anybody like the American Badass version of the Undertaker? That's one that I've always wanted to ask people. Was anybody a fan of the American Badass? I just think when you think of Undertaker, it's just straight up, the dead man. It should have always been the dead man. I'm glad he went back to being the dead man, but that little bit of American Badass Undertaker, I don't know if that was. I wasn't a big fan of it. Let's be honest. I was not a big fan of the American Badass Undertaker. So let me know if you guys in the comments. Let me know if you did like that. The best intro ever was RVD, Rob Van Dam. So are we talking Rob Van Dam WWE or are we talking Rob Van Dam ECW? Now ECW, yeah, that was a hit. That was badass. I loved it. And ECW had some good. You had the Sandman with Metallica. He would come into the Metallica Sandman song. Balls Mahoney. They had AC/DC's Headbanger Ball. Oh man, there was a lot of good ones in ECW that I really enjoyed. So let me know, which one is it? RVD from ECW or the WWE, obviously. Rudy, you need to watch the main event this Wednesday night on TBS. AEW Blood and Guts Team AEW versus Team Elite. 2-ring steel cage weapons are allowed. Watch it, Rudy. You'll love it. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to try to watch it. I definitely will try to watch it. Second was the Road Warriors. Okay, the Road Warriors is another. I want to get into stables. We're going to get into stable talk too as well. Before I forget, guys, right when we're done here and Raw is done, 10 minutes after Raw, you've got to go to Twitter, go to X, and go to Brandon, Big Papi Medina, and Sith Elias. They're doing their spaces right after Raw. 10 minutes after Raw's done, they're going to jump on their spaces. So definitely tune into that. It's a lot of wrestling talk. It's fantastic. I've been a part of the spaces. I've yet to talk to them, but I've been in the spaces. I've listened to them. It's amazing. You guys got to check them out. Definitely. You think Kurt Angle intro walk? Was the song was the best? I would say, Jeff, shout out to Locked On Spurs. I will say this, when it came to Kurt Angle's intro music, it was a hit with the fans. Obviously, that you suck the whole time. And it just, I don't know, it was the best, but it was definitely another memorable theme music, another theme music that I was definitely, I loved it. I mean, that's the thing. In wrestling, you got to have that theme. If you could be an intro. Now, Jeff's cool, because on Locked On Spurs, I have my own intro music, so that's pretty cool. And actually, Jeff has his own intro music here at Sweep the League. So if you could get one song that could be your intro music, drop it in the comment. We're also going to give away something tonight for Amazon gift card, so keep that in mind. But drop it in the comments, man. Let me know what your theme music would be. We're talking WWE, AEW. It's Monday Night Mania here on Sweep the League. So we're talking anything and everything wrestling. We're taking a little break from the major sports out there. So we're just talking some wrestling and having a little bit of fun. Again, Kurt Angle, I don't know if it's the best, but it's a memorable theme music. It was very, very memorable. I will say that it lives in a lot of people's mind. It lives rent-free in a lot of people's minds, Jeff. I definitely believe that. I'm assuming that's Kane's intro music. Again, I don't know. To me, Kane's was okay. The fire, the brimstone, all that stuff. I would say that was okay. I would give Kane a shout out there. WWE sucks. Apparently so, John. Apparently it does suck. Jacob Bear, the Brood hit hard. Now, the Brood was kind of one of those intros where I loved it. I loved the Brood intro music. You had Gangrel, you had Edge, you had Christian. They were coming up from the ground, right? And then they would be walking, and it just had that little that horror feel to it. Gangrel walking, all of them smiling. He had the goblet of blood and all that. That I will give the Brood. Shout out to the Brood, man. That was one of the best stables out there at the time. We're gonna get the stable talk too. Kane had the best intro. Chemically Burned was an amazing intro song. You're the second person to say that. So Kane on the intro music. I mean, for me, I don't know, man. For Kane, I don't know if I would put it way up there as one of the best. That's my opinion. I guess, Lee, man, that's tough, man. What do y'all think, guys? You think Kane out there's has one of the best intros in there? Now, the walk, the fire, like I said, the fire, everything. Yeah, that was intimidating. I guess you could say the music went with everything that was going on with Kane at the time. So, yeah, I mean, the best, I don't know. It's hard to say what's the best. There's so much. Do you realize that a lot of us love wrestling so much that these intro songs are like a whole album? They obviously sell the whole album and stuff, but we go back and we listen to these songs and it's like a part of our lives, man. HBK and Shane McMahon songs. Here Comes the Money. Obviously, HBK, like I said, on my radio days at 9:30, man, HBK's song Boy Toy, that was my intro music. Every time, we started the show, every time they took it over to me and said, talking to me, our producer would play the HBK song for a little bit, and that was my theme music. I used to have an intro. I think I was like, I can't remember. I'm gonna see if I can remember how my intro was when they kicked it over to me. So it would be playing. I come from San Antonio, Texas, at a monumental 5'8", a very chubby but chiseled 240 pounds, the Ayatollah of sport and rock-a-rolla, the rated R sports star, Rudy Campos Jr. That was pretty much the gist of it there. So yeah, HBK, man. HBK. I got to do that intro all over. That's pretty cool. RVW, ECW. Okay, so RVD, ECW, yeah. Rob Van Dam's ECW, that ranks way the hell up there for me. A lot of ECW songs do. Taz even had, I like Taz's intro. Yes, I love the American Badass, especially the intro song. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it was a Kid Rock, right? It was the American Badass song. I just couldn't get into the whole American Badass thing. I really didn't like the whole American Badass at all. I don't know, Tim. I mean, I just, when you talk Undertaker, it's just straight up, Undertaker, man. I couldn't get into the whole American Badass thing. Chris Gonzalez, RHR, American Badass, was great. He needed to change because that Taker character was getting boring. Again, Chris Gonzalez, you're making hella points tonight, man. You're on point tonight. You're dropping facts. And you're beating it down, brother. You're keeping it real right now, and you're right. I mean, the Taker thing was getting kind of old. They went. I mean, you had regular Taker, and then wasn't it the corporate or the Ministry of Darkness or something like that? Then they had to go to the American Badass. So I guess you could play it up to a certain point, and then they brought it back, obviously. So great points, man. Chris Gonzalez is on point tonight, man. Appreciate that. Best group is the Four Horsemen. I'm going to get into stable talk too, because the Horsemen to me is definitely the best stable, the best group. But where do they rank compared to, I mean, we get into stables, you get into the Heenan family. I mean, you get into NWO. That's going to be for the later part of the show. So stable talk, we're going to get into that as well. Break the Walls Down from Chris. Yeah, Jericho. I mean, we all remember Y2J. He had the clock. It was counting down. The Rock was in the ring talking, and all of a sudden you counting down, and then you see it, break the walls down. You see Y2J, and he's coming out. I mean, one of the more memorable moments for WWE from I remember it. Another great intro was WCCW Freebirds, Bad Street, Atlanta, Georgia, Bad Street, and the whole USA. Yeah, I do remember the Freebirds as well. X Gonna Give It to You, DMX would be that would be pretty badass, man. X Gonna Give It to You by DMX, man. Rest in peace, DMX, dude. DMX, he had a couple of bangers, I think, of that. It was X Gonna Give It to You. Rough Riders was the original. That was the first one by DMX. That was a badass one. Is it me, or has the new Ladies of Wrestling a lot smaller? Back in the day, they were big, like China, La Masota, Stacy Keibler, and Tori Wilson. Mario, I'm gonna stay on this for a second here, because I think I grew up and I still prefer the older ladies of wrestling. I mean, we were all in love with Miss Elizabeth back in the day, especially in SummerSlam. What was it? The yellow polka dot bikini is what it was at SummerSlam, when the Mega Powers fought the Mega Bucks from way back in the day. We were all in love with Miss Elizabeth from way back then. And then, you brought up Stacy Keibler, Miss Hancock. She was Miss Hancock in WCW. Stacy Cooper, Tori Wilson. I mean, then you have Trish Stratus, who saw recently at a pay-per-view. Jesus. You still have Trish Stratus from that time. I mean, Mickey James at the time. Lita was another one at the time. Obviously, China. Yeah, China. Obviously, big bad girl China there. But you had a lot of. I think I prefer the women there because even in ECW, you had Beulah McGillicuddy was another one that I really loved her. You had WCW. I know you had Kimberly Page, Diamond Dallas Page's wife. I mean, yeah, I would say during that time, you probably had the peak of, the wrestling the managers when it came to the women. So I would say definitely around that time. We had Melina was another one that was for John Morrison and Joey Styles, I believe. I had so many people on there. But again, Melina, I think that was the peak of there. But now, I mean, you've got more women inside the squared circle. So, Bailey, you got tons of, I can't really name a lot of them here, but Bailey, Monet, obviously in AEW. I mean, you got tons of women. Hell, we got a whole local association, Mission Pro Wrestling, just dedicated to women wrestling. But yeah, I think back in the day for me, Mario, I think back in the day for me is what I would go when it came to the back. Mini Mac, no chance in hell. Chris, I think that was kind of, to me, I was like, I liked it. It was a good, catchy song. It was one the boss would play. We had an old company I used to work for. We would play that when he would be walking up the stairs to come talk to us and all that good stuff. It was kind of one of those gimmick type of songs. I like that. What was the Von Erichs walk-up song? I don't know. I saw this earlier when you posted it right now in the chat. I don't know. If anyone knows what the Von Erichs walk-up song was, let me know. Because I cannot remember that to save my life. Sorry, Jeff. I really don't know. Stacy Keibler had me in shambles, man. I think Stacy Keibler, a.k.a. Miss Hancock from WCW, when I first saw her, she was Miss Hancock in WCW. Fell in love. I was floored. I was like, holy cow, those legs went on forever. And then I saw her come to the WWE, Stacy Keibler. I mean, geez, man. Geez, yes. Stacy Keibler, definitely top 10, maybe top 5. How about Brother Love, Rudy? Brother Love, man. The introduction of The Undertaker, I think, was Brother Love, right? Him and Ted DiBiase. So Brother Love was part of the Undertaker, the introduction of The Undertaker. Had the Brother Love show. I'm trying to remember. Was the Brother Love show, that was a show where Rick Martel sprayed arrogance in Jake the Snake's eye. I think that was on the Brother Love show where he was mistaken. Then Jake had the white eye and all that stuff he couldn't see. And then they had not even the blindfold match. I think it was the bags where they had their faces covered. So I think remembering, I think that was on the Brother Love show where Rick the Model Martel sprayed arrogance into Jake the Snake's eyes. Thanks for all the comments, man. Keep these comments going. This is what's going to make the show fantastic. You guys are great. I love all y'all for in here. 103 strong right now on the stream, talking wrestling. We're taking a break from the major sports out there. We talk a lot of NFL. We talk a lot of NBA, all the sports. And we're taking a little break. It's wrestling right now. Monday Night Mania here on Sweep the League. Sponsored by MCS General Contracting. Sponsored by Special Leaf Tea. Castro and Sons, also La Cocina Taco Truck, and don't forget we are proud partners, content creators with Jeff Garcia over at Locked On Spurs. Chris Benoit had the most badass team. Too bad it's blacklisted. It is blacklisted, but definitely a really good walk-up song, Chris Benoit. I know for like a lot of stuff with Chris Benoit, I get that it's a lot of stuff that's hard to talk about, but I know I've talked to a couple of the guys here at Sweep the League, and when we talk wrestling, I want to talk, wrestling conspiracies, and I want to talk about wrestling stuff like that. So be on the lookout. We're going to talk a lot about that stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff, posted everywhere. I'd love to hear everybody, some of you guys just, have some of the best thoughts, and think about a lot of the stuff that a lot of people others don't think about. And I'd love to get y'all's take on a lot of things here. So yeah, but yeah, the theme music for Benoit was tremendous as well, man. Big Booty Bailey. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. They have currently right now. I don't know. I think I would have her number one on my list for current female wrestlers that just they take my breath away. I think Bailey would probably be up there. Von Erichs walked into the song Yellow Rose of Texas. It was a country song. I think I do remember it now. Again, I can't really remember offhand, but yeah, for Jeff out there, Locked On Spurs, the Yellow Rose of Texas is what John is saying was their walk-up song. So Von Erichs, the Tom Sawyer, Tom Sawyer, because I was thinking, now I'm thinking Hillbilly Jim. That was Country Boy. Don't go messing with a Country Boy. That was Hillbilly Jim. I don't know. Maybe it was. No. Lee, man, was it Tom Sawyer? That's a good one. We need to get that on there. Can we talk about how Billy Kidman pulled Tori Wilson? We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as long as it's wrestling. It doesn't matter to me. But Billy Kidman, man, he had the coolest name in WCW, and I don't know if he used it in WWE, but for his finisher, the 7-year itch. That was that not a 360, but where he would just jump off the top rope and flip, and he would call it the 7-year itch. I remember that was one of the funniest, but one of the coolest things I had ever heard. Hearing guys like, Bishop and Tony Schiavone just be like, oh, that was the 7-year itch and all that. I don't know why. This is the Billy Kidman move was just got to be. Yes, it was. So yeah, Brother Love Show. That's where Rick Martel sprayed the arrogance in Jake the Snake's eyes for all you guys. And conspiracies, you say, yeah, I think we were texting about that earlier. Different kind of conspiracies, but Neil, we'll get into some wrestling conspiracies on a show here. Love to have you guys talk. What are some of the conspiracies we could talk about? I know the Benoit thing is a big thing out there. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if we ever talk conspiracies, whether it's wrestling, whether it's NBA, NFL, whatever, I am probably one of the few people who directly stays on the track. I don't go to the left. I don't go to the right. I hear everybody's side. I hear everybody's stories. I hear everything. I make my own decision on what I believe, but 99.9% of the time, I just leave it as is, man. Conspiracies are conspiracies. They're either going to go one way or they're going to go another, and that's why I love it. But yeah, we got to talk conspiracy sometime, man. Billy Kidman move was a shooting star press, which is called 7-year. So yeah, it was a shooting star press, but it was the 7-year itch. I remember. I'm pretty sure it was. I remember it. The 7-year itch. That was when he was in the stable with Raven, Saturn. Man, there was a bunch of other guys. A couple other guys. What was Raven's flock? Yeah, Raven's flock. So he was with Raven, Saturn. It was Billy Kidman. There was a couple other guys in there. One more. What was Coco Beware's intro song? Coco Beware, for real. I cannot tell you. Maybe Do the Bird. Yeah, see, Sid the saying Do the Bird was the entrance song. But shout out to Jeff. We got a Coco Beware mention. That's amazing. And on that note, we're going to go to our first commercial break. When we get back, we'll talk some more wrestling. We're going to talk some stables. Who had the best stable? I mentioned that on the last wrestling show that we were talking. Who had the best stable? So for me, the Horsemen obviously is up there. But where do they rank? Did the NWO just pretty much shoot everybody down a spot, shooting the Horsemen down, the Heenan family, just everybody down? Think about it. When we come back from this commercial break, we'll get into some stable talk here. See what you guys think on Sweep the League, brought to you by MCS General Contracting, Castro and Sun Solar, La Cocina Taco Truck, Special Leaf Tea, all brought to you on the Sports Insanity Network, all brought to you on on the Refocus Network as well. And also, like I said, partners of Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia. When we get back, more wrestling talk, stable talk at that. Be right back, guys. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends. They're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Pops the mastermind, got the team what we need. 5 rings deep, we the Dynasty Kings. From the Alamo Dome to the banners we bring.
Welcome back to Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. joining you tonight for the Monday Night Mania version of Sweep the League. Derek Gervin, Coach Gio will be back later on in the week. Again, we are taking a break, tonight. We're just talking, wrestling tonight. A couple of stables, talking a little bit here. Shout out to everybody in here right now, 120 strong on the stream live with us right now. We'll get back into more NFL talk, NBA talk as the week progresses. But again, we want to take a little night off here, enjoy a little bit of wrestling talk. We know a lot of you guys love that. So appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We'll be having our Amazon gift card giveaway tonight. We will announce the winner after the show here. We do announce it. We'll contact you and we'll just give us a heads up on where you want to send that Amazon gift card. I think all we need is your email address. So we'll contact you. That way you can get an Amazon gift card here, $25 Amazon gift card from Sweep the League. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, La Cocina Taco Truck, Castro, and Sun Solar. All proud sponsors of Sweep the League. This next segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. La Cocina Taco Truck, best street tacos, best quesadilla. You know what? Just the best damn food in New Braunfels. Hey, you know what, San Antonio fans? Don't be worried about it. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Make that drive to be satisfied. Head over to La Cocina Taco Truck Thursday through Sunday after 8 p.m. till the last person leaves. They'll take care of Louis and his staff are going to take care of you out there at all. It's La Cocina Taco Truck. Number one, they got Chris Gonzalez has the 4 horsemen. I agree with the horsemen. The horsemen, we're going to talk stables now. And like I said, this segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. Horseman 1. I don't know if I can argue that. I don't know if I can argue with anybody on that. I mean, Flair, Anderson. I mean, even I wasn't a big fan of Mongo, and shout out to Mongo. I know he's got, a lot of health stuff going on. Mongo, hang on as long as you can, Steve McMichael. But even as much as I didn't agree with Mongo being in the 4 horsemen, I mean, it worked, man. For me, it was what Benoit as well. Malenko was in there. I mean, Arn Anderson, like we mentioned, it just, the 4 horsemen is iconic. It's super iconic. But then you had the NWO come in. You know, the NWO came in and it just changed wrestling. That's why I say I don't know if we can move the Horsemen down and the NWO up. Now, as far as monumental movements, I guess, like biggest waves in wrestling, even though the NWO gig was done in Japan first, it was brought over to the United States, but obviously it was monumental. It was sending waves, shock waves around everywhere. So is that enough to put them over the Four Horsemen as a stable, as a group? That's what I'm curious about. That's why I'm bringing up the stable. So it's NWO and Bullet Club for Tim. Bullet Club. I mean, Bullet Club was good. I kind of think there's a lot more iconic stables out there. I mean, you had Jimmy Hart, and I mean, look at the managers. Jimmy Hart. What did he have? The Hart Foundation. He had the Honky Tonk Man. He had his stable. The Doctor of Style Slick had his as well. Who did he have? He had One Man Gang. He had Haku was on the Heenan family. Mr. Fuji had Demolition. I mean, you had a lot of managers that had a whole bunch. Heenan stable, then there is a long gap, the 2, 3, 4, so on and on and on. Again, and that's another great point. Can you really compare any other stable or faction to the Heenan family? I mean, Andre the Giant, Haku, you had Ravishing Rick Rude. You just had a lot of people in the Heenan family. So that's another one. So for me, it's always been Horsemen, NWO, Heenan family, and not in the order. These are like the top 3, but I don't know which one I would put first. I grew up with the Heenan family. I mean, as a kid, it was the Heenan family. Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, part of the Heenan family. You know, I fell in love with wrestling again with the NWO. I mean, that got my attention. But even through all that, the Four Horsemen were right there. I mean, that's why I don't know where to rank them. Chris Gonzalez, Four Horsemen, NWO, Hogan, Nash, Hall, Dangerous Alliance, Impact players. So good point again on the NWO. The 3, Hogan, Nash, Hall, I would say stop right there. That faction as a stable, that was the move right there. That was the iconic move. Four Horsemen, again, it's Horsemen, it's NWO, the original 3, and then it's the Heenan family. If I'm going those 3, oh man. Honestly, if I'm going those 3, why don't we go? Don't kill me, guys. Don't kill me. Why don't we go Heenan family for me at 1, Horsemen, NWO. That's my ranking for me only right now. Heenan family, Horsemen, NWO. I think I go that route, and let me give a quick explanation. I go that route because Heenan family, I mean, champions galore, all around. I mean, Andre the Giant, like I said, Mr. Perfect. I mean, it's the Heenan family. So to me, that was probably the strongest. Putting them up against another stable, another family, I don't see them losing very much at all. Ravishing Rick Rude, Intercontinental champion. Mr. Perfect, Intercontinental champion. You know, the Giant, Andre the Giant. I mean, like I said, King Haku. I mean, the Heenan family. It was. Didn't he even had Power and Glory, Hercules, if I'm not mistaken. It was either him or Slick. I think it was. Didn't he have Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff as well? I know he had like I said, he had a hell of a stable. And then I would go Horseman. I mean, you can't get any better, any more historical than the Four Horsemen. I mean, plus Nature Boy. I mean, even Nate was part of the Heenan family when he went into the WWE or WWF at the time. So that's my rankings. Chris Gonzalez has it, Four Horsemen, NWO, Dangerous Alliance, Impact players. Johnson here. The greatest stable is AEW's The Wingman. Peter Avalon, Ryan Nemeth, Cesar Bonani, and JD Drake. I don't know about that stable, so I really can't comment on that. But I'll take your word for it. I definitely will, John. One time, me and Rudy went to a Comic-Con and met Sergeant Slaughter. He told me that he did a playoff promotion for the Spurs playoffs in the 90s. This is wrestling related. It is wrestling related. And you and I did go to a Comic-Con where Sergeant Slaughter was. And we, I was thinking he was going to get you in the Cobra Clutch, Jeff, but he didn't. So you got lucky there, but did meet Sergeant Slaughter. Very cool guy. Very, very cool guy. He's always been cool. He's a great follow on X as well when it comes to wrestling stuff. I love following Sergeant Slaughter. Those of you that don't know, member of G.I. Joe as well. So shout out to Sergeant Slaughter out there. Flair was part of the Heenan stable. Yeah, he was part of the Heenan stable when he went into the WWF. The Four Horsemen, Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and Tully. But they were no better than the Von Erichs. Hey, see, I don't know. I mean, you could even put the Von Erichs in there as a stable. I mean, I guess I can see that too. I mean, you guys are, that's why I love talking wrestling with you guys. You guys are on point when it comes to the wrestling talk. I love it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I mean, we can argue about stables all night here. Don't forget the USOA. I can never forget the USOA. There is no better stable than the USOA. Speaking of USOA, right after our show, head over to X, Seth Elias, Brandon, Big Papi Medina. They're going to do their spaces 10 minutes after Raw's off the air. They're doing their Twitter spaces or their X spaces, whatever they're calling that website today. They're doing their spaces 10 minutes after. Join them for the Monday Night Raw recap because it is fantastic. It's awesome. It is awesome. Be sure to join those guys out there. They do a hell of a job out there. Fantastic job. AEW's House of Black, Killer Stable. Again, I gotta get caught up on AEW, John. I gotta get caught up. I saw last week's the first match and then I had to do the show, so I couldn't really finish it, but I promise to watch a little more AEW. I can record it, go back and watch it when we're done with the show. I promise you guys I'll watch AEW. I got to get used to some of these stables here. RC Wood, I appreciate you, RC Wood, for joining. Says, great job, friend. Appreciate you joining us here on Sweep the League. RCW does a fantastic job with the Gunslingers for San Antonio. They have a podcast. She does an amazing job, guys, of covering the Gunslingers. She has her own. She used to have a podcast. I'm not sure if you still have it, RC, but you had a podcast where you were talking to like the moms and, you know, the women of sports when it came to the Gunslingers and all the football teams we locally had. Always a fantastic, an amazing podcast. Keep up the great work as what you're doing as well, RC. Shout out to you for everything that you're doing there for the Gunslingers. Tim Gonzalez, NWO. I grew up with the Black and White, Bullet Club, AEW Inner Circle. I remember the Bullet Club a little bit. You know, I would say I do remember the Bullet Club. Again, the Inner Circle. I've got to really get into AEW. But again, NWO, Black and White. I think if I'm sticking with NWO, I'm sticking with the original three and Hogan, Nash, and Hall. That's what I'm sticking with. Everybody else after that was kind of, man, and then Sith is dropping bangers over here, man. Evolution. D-Generation X is another one. I mean, they brought, you know, they kept ushering in the Attitude Era. So D-Generation X, you got Evolution, Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair. Another great stable. I mean, man, wrestling has put out some of the best stables and some of the best groups that we've ever seen, man. So shout out to Sith on that one. Adam Cole is king. Where is he? Adam Cole, baby. I have no idea where Adam Cole is. Any of you guys know where Adam Cole is? That's all I remember is ever watching him on a NXT, and then you hear Adam Cole, baby. And I remember his debut in AEW. I did catch that, but again, I don't know where Adam Cole is, man. I'm not too sure. AEW is the Bang Bang Gang. You got to check that out as well. Undisputed Era as well, man. Thank you, Ray Dean, for joining us on the conversation as well. We are talking wrestling. It's Monday Night Mania tonight. Again, Sweep the League, man, is taking a break from the major sports. We're taking a break from the major sports. We brought to you WNBA talk last week. A lot of it, their All-Star Weekend happened this past weekend. It was a great All-Star Weekend for WNBA. We're going to get into more NBA talk later on, but NFL and college football is going to be dominating our airwaves here for a little while. starting probably tomorrow. So be sure to tune in to Sweep the League Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Central Time. Adam Cole is in AEW. So there's the Adam Cole. I didn't know if he had left or what was going on. I know the whole Ricochet thing, that's supposed to be where he's going to AEW from what I guess what I'm seeing from Sith. I think Sith and I talked about it. That would be so cool if he went into AEW as Prince Puma. For those of you out there that don't know, Lucha Underground, one of my favorites. He was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. So I'd be cool if he went over there into AEW as Prince Puma. The Nation of Domination. So you're talking what? Farouk, The Rock, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry. Was Ahmed Johnson a part of that as well? I think Ahmed Johnson was a part of the Nation of Domination. That was another good one. That was another good one right there as well. I do like that one. That's for sure. Can't forget the greatest stable of all time, the Bloodline Roman Reigns version. Yeah, I mean, the Bloodline, you could say the Bloodline. I don't know if it's the greatest yet. I mean, the Roman one was really, really good. I don't know. Can we really call it the greatest, though? Where does it rank, Sith? Where would you rank the Bloodline? I mean, they're not higher than the Heenan family. They're not higher than the Four Horsemen. They're not higher than the NWO. Where would the Bloodline rank? Because it was a stable for a long while, if I'm not mistaken. Are they higher than DX? Are they higher than Evolution? Where could you rank the Bloodline on this list of stables in wrestling? That's a good question right there. Rudy, on Thursday night, before you talk about sports, you need to give your reaction to Blood and Guts. And I need your take on the main event. I'll tell you what. I will watch Blood and Guts. I'll record it too. I can record it here. And what I'll do is I'll watch it and I'll do a separate video to give my take on Blood and Guts. And I'll do it sometime Thursday. I'll do it Thursday before the show. I'll probably release it on TikTok and all that stuff. So that way I'll give my take on that as well. So definitely will do that. Rudy, my friend Ray Dean is watching from New York. I invited him to talk about wrestling. He's a huge Adam Cole fan. Oh, sweet. Appreciate that, Tim. Again, Ray Dean, appreciate you joining us on the talk tonight. We are talking wrestling, man. Definitely Adam Cole, baby. I mean, again, another guy that I just I love talking about as well here. We got Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia. Which stable would Rudy want to join of all time? Oh, man. That's a good one, man. NWO was cool. NWO was cool, but it got played out. The Heenan family, I said, is number one. But if I had to pick a stable, I'm gonna go Four Horsemen, Jeff. I think Four Horsemen was, for the modern day, it was the pastime Evolution. It was the suits, the fit, the fitted suits, Flair and the Crocs and, the alligator boots, the limousine drivers, limousine riding, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, Rolex wearing, son of a gun. That's where I think I would, my stable, I would probably be in the Four Horsemen. I'd love to be a horseman, man. I definitely would be a Four Horseman. Great question. What if you guys want to be on a stable out there? Which one would you guys want to be in? Top five, realistically, just because it's scripted in any list, you'd need to have them above a lot of those teams. If written correctly, we'd have Bloodline Clearing Shop. Man, that's a tough one because the Bloodline is pretty damn strong. It's a pretty damn strong stable. Top five. I'm gonna have to think on that one, Seth. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through a long list here. But you could be right. Survey says one more for the good guys. That is 100% right, Chris Gonzalez. Georgia Championship Wrestling, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, Jake the Snake, the Spoiler, and King Kong Bundy. Wow. Okay. See, I love this about John. John's an old high school friend of mine. I know he's huge into wrestling. Huge into wrestling. So bringing up the Legion of Doom from Georgia Championship Wrestling, the Road Warriors, Jake the Snake, the Spoiler, and King Kong Bundy. That is massive. If I'm not mistaken, I think King Kong Bundy was even a part of the Heenan family as well at the time from back then. So that's a hell of a stable right there. That's a hell of a stable. Who's your favorite tag team of all time? Demolition. I'm a big Demolition fan. I loved Axe and Smash. Big Demolition fan. I just loved it. You know, at the time when I was a kid growing up, I even went as Demolition one year for Halloween. Just was able to gear up the costume, get the costume, get it all up, and go trick or treating as a kid. In Demolition gear, that was probably one of my favorite Halloween. So, yeah, that was my favorite tag team of all time was Demolition. We're forgetting Team Extreme, Jeff and Matt. Now that's a tag team. I don't know if we can consider it a stable. So for me, tag teams and stables are two different things. So I would say that would be a tag team. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Jeff and Matt, very, very good. Now, which Matt Hardy? Because I really like Matt Hardy. The most recent, the delete. I don't know what you call it, but that Matt Hardy I really liked. Team 3D, the Dudley Boys. Yeah. Now that was kind of a stable in ECW because it was Bubba Ray, Devon, Spike Dudley. They had I don't know, it wasn't the pasture, so they always had the neck collar on and all that. So I mean, they had their own little stable. Sid is right. Okay, so if you consider it a 3-man team, Matt, Jeff, and Lita, Team Extreme, okay, I'll give you that much. I won't argue on that. I was talking to John, your favorite man. You said my favorite faction, the Bang Bang Bullet Club Gold, Bang Bang Gang Bullet Club Gold. Best tag team, the Steiner Brothers. All right, Jeff. So Jacob Erickson here. I'm joining the Heenan family. They had everything covered, size, smarts, manager swag. Again, that's like, I would love to have been a part of the Heenan family, but it's something about the Four Horsemen where I'm like, man, it's like royalty. Even though the Heenan family's technically royalty too, it's just something about the Four Horsemen. If I had to join a stable, it's going to be the Horsemen, man. It's just the iconic music. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when I would go back and download music for, wrestling theme songs, I could have swore it said that the Horseman theme music was written by Jimmy Hart. Right or wrong on that? Does anybody know out there? I might have to look that up. This is Sweep the League. We're going to come back here in just a little bit, talk more wrestling with you guys. It's going to be our last commercial break here. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, La Cocina Taco Truck, Castro and Sons, Solar. Shout out to Locked On Spurs. Shout out to the Sports Insanity Network. Appreciate everybody here. 138 strong in the live stream right now. So when we get back, we're going to end the show here. Remember, you got Sith and Big Brand and Papi Medina. They're going to be doing their X Spaces 10 minutes after Raw. So probably within the next 14 minutes, these guys are going to head on the Spaces and get ready for some more wrestling talk. Okay, this is the Monday Night Mania version of Sweep the League. We'll be back. Howdy from Texas. You've got to be tired of the sizzling electric bills and the Texas heat, right? Well, partner, we've got the solution for you. Introducing Castro and Sons Solar, harnessing the power of the sun to save you some serious cash. Their top-notch solar panels will have you soaking up the savings in no time. Imagine lower electric bills, a reduced carbon footprint, and the satisfaction of going green. Their expert team will take care of everything from installation to maintenance. We're talking hassle-free, worry-free, and stress-free solar solutions. So why wait? Join the solar revolution with Castro and Sons Solar. Let the Texas sun shine bright and your savings shine even brighter. Castro and Sons Solar, empowering your home one sunbeam at a time. Call. Can you imagine a world where nature meets wellness? Where every sip you take nourishes your body and soul. Introducing Special Leaf Tea, a line of 100% natural, ready-to-drink iced teas crafted to boost your immunity and energy. With 4 unique flavors to choose from, as in hibiscus blueberry, tangerine ginger, pomegranate blueberry, or the original you can indulge in the perfect blend of taste and nutrition. Their teas are carefully crafted with 2 times the antioxidants and no added sugar. They're known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and even provide natural energy without caffeine. Join the movement towards natural wellness. Order now at www.specialleaf.com and start sipping your way to a healthier, happier you. Special Leaf Tea. Nature in every sip. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out.
Wendy, the king is crowned. Wendy, king is crowned. Future of the league and he's wearing a crown. We playing chess, he's playing checkers, no contest. Wendy's got the game on lock and he's making it statement. I'm talking about Wemby, the next in line, future of the league.
All right, it is 10 o'clock here in the Central Standard Time in America here, San Antonio, Texas. It is Sweep the League. Bringing that up because we got about less than 10 minutes for Brandon, Big Papi Medina, and Sit the Latest go live on Twitter or on X. They do their spaces here 10 minutes after Raw is done. So get ready. Raw just finished. They're getting ready to set up there. So head over to X as soon as we're done here. We are talking wrestling. It is MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea. We got Castro and Sons Solar, La Cocina Taco Truck, all proud sponsors of Sweep the League. This last segment is brought to you by all 4 of them, MCS General Contracting, Castro and Sons Solar. We got La Cocina Taco Truck and Special Leaf Tea, all proud sponsors of Sweep the League. So last segment here, guys. We're going to get some more comments, FTR for me, because they bring the old school wrestling. Chris Gonzalez, a lot of songs are written and sung by Jimmy Hart, especially Sexy Boy. So, right, Jimmy Hart was behind that one. So, Jimmy Hart, man, hell, shit, he was awesome. Nothing would be Mr. Perfect. That's the one I couldn't remember offhand. Mr. Perfect's theme music, that would be a great walk-up song. I love it. Now, more modern for me, I always... I don't know, because I when I first started doing podcasting back in the day, and also radio, and I also just did other crazy stuff way back then. More so ever, Edge's theme music, that was one that really edited, because that was like the rated R sport superstar was Edge. I started calling myself the rated R sports star. So I was like, well, why not just take Edge's theme music? That would be perfect. So, yeah, Edge's theme music for me. But, yeah, Mr. Perfect's walk-up theme music. I wish I could do everything that guy did, shoot the ball and all that. I know it's obviously, helping out and stuff. But Mr. Perfect, how about Rick and the Rock and Mick Foley, best tag team, the Rock and Sock Connection? Yeah, it could be a good one. Mr. Perfect threw a ball to himself 70 yards. I remember that. Didn't he also bowl a perfect game? He threw the ball, turned around, and he just snapped his fingers. Not only that, he was making shots from half court over his head. He was doing it all, man. Mr. Perfect, dude. I mean, what about Razor Ramon's WWE entrance music? Just the machismo, the walk. I mean, the music itself, it's just like, oh, you're a badass. That's all it was. Other stables not said so far. LWO, FBI, the full-blooded Italians. the oddities in the Varsity Club. The oddities was so crazy, man. I couldn't even do it. The Mexicals. I remember the Mexicals, man. Golly, y'all guys are bringing up everything. I'm loving it. The Blue World Order, the Blue Meanie, and that was Stevie Richards, I believe, was a part of that as well. I don't think Al Snow, right? Al Snow wasn't a part of that one. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe he was. No, I don't think Al Snow was a part of that one. That was a crazy theme. Is what does everybody want? Head. What does everybody need? Head. That Al Snow, man. Al Snow was definitely a crazy one. What was a sad moment in wrestling history? Owen Hart or Eddie's death? Well, Owen's death, that was probably the hardest because not only was it a malfunction, it happened at a pay-per-view, it happened at a live event. A lot of people saw what happened. Just knowing that Owen, from what I'm not mistaken, he died on impact, if I'm not mistaken. But the Owen Hart death was probably the hardest death for me between the two. Eddie's death, Eddie had some problems already. A lot of guys in wrestling, they, not to say, a lot of guys, but I mean, there's some guys that pass early in their life, just overworking, man. I know steroids, I know drugs and, alcoholism. I mean, the Giant, we used to hear about Andre the Giant, how much he drank and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it was wrong, anything that was, negative about anybody passing. I don't talk bad about anybody when you're passing, but, for me, it's Owen Hart. Eddie's death was definitely hard as well. It was definitely hard. I mean, you talk about one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the great wrestlers, one of the greatest performers of all time. So, yeah, that, we're going to get into a lot of those talks here. When we do more wrestling shows, we're going to get into a lot of those talks. So I'll definitely keep everybody up to date when we talk more wrestling. The Job Squad, that was the other one, the Job Squad. I do remember the Job Squad. The murder of Bruiser Brody is crazy. That I did see the Dark Side of the Ring, I think is what it was on that one. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I want to get into some of these Dark Side of the Ring moments as well. The plane ride from hell was another one that was just crazy, crazy stuff. But the murder of Bruiser Brody definitely was. The suicide of Chris Kanyon. I started trying to watch that one recently on that, but that's another one. Chris Kanyon, man, I remember Chris Kanyon in WCW, and that was just, he had the rivalry with, I can't remember that guy's name. Glacier? Is it Glacier? From WCW. So I think that was always a good rivalry, I think, between those two guys, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, the suicide of Chris Kanyon is definitely one. Again, we're going to talk more wrestling next couple of weeks. We'll do more wrestling shows for you guys out there. Maybe we'll make it a Monday night thing. I'm not too sure. That way, when we're done, we can hand it over to Brandon and Sid for their X Spaces. So we may try to make this a Monday night type thing. Go Mondays where we do wrestling for you guys out there. The whole Von Erich's family. That you guys are bringing up deaths, and it's like, man, we're gonna have to save this for next week or when we talk wrestling again, because we're talking deaths and wrestling. I mean, yeah, you've even had a couple of guys who've died in the ring. I know down in Mexico, even in overseas in Japan, you've had guys that have passed away in the ring. The whole Von Erich family. The Von Erich story is just crazy, 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 man. And I mean, is it CTE, concussions? Is it all that stuff? Who knows, man? Who knows? A lot of it too, I think, a lot of if it's suicide and stuff, it's crazy because you're at the top of the world. And then when you're not at the top of the world anymore, you don't know what to do. You're scratching, you're crawling. You're trying to make it again and it doesn't happen. And the weight of the world just comes on your shoulders. And, that it's tough. It's tough. These are the types of conversations, wrestling wise that we'll have too. We can't always just talk about the fun stuff in wrestling. I know wrestling has a dark side, as we all know. So we'll definitely talk about the dark side of wrestling here. But nonetheless, man, I appreciate everybody joining me tonight here on Sweep the League. We had 140 strong live on the stream. Love Love every single bit of it. We're going to be doing this as much as we can for you guys. The wrestling talk seems to be very, very popular. Shout out. We got one of our producers out there. I want to make a quick statement on this. We got one of our producers for Sweep the League who is going to be doing a lot of wrestling talk for us. He's going to be dropping a lot of wrestling content. So once all that gets squared away and starts getting released, you guys are going to have a whole lot more to talk about in wrestling here. So we're going to dedicate a lot of content for wrestling. One of our producers is going to be doing that for us here at Sweep the League. Last couple of comments. You got Sith in here. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, Sith, you'll get ready, man. You got your show here in a little bit. The saddest is the entrance of the Shockmaster. That was, I don't know if it was sad. It was sad because it was terrible. I'll say that much. But yeah, oh, the good old Shockmaster. Again, appreciate everybody joining me tonight. Rudy Cobbles Jr., Derek and Gio should be back later on the week. Well, tomorrow we'll get into some NFL, some college football talk. We'll go over the WNBA All-Star Weekend that happened. Obviously, the WNBA All-Stars beat the Team USA women's team. They beat them over the weekend. Also, a couple of Team USA not necessarily losses, but the struggles they had, South Sudan, Germany today. So we'll talk a lot about that this week. Also NFL and college football talk. See if we can maybe get some of these rankings out for you as well. So until we talk to you guys again, until we sweep the league again tomorrow, shout out to MCS General Contracting. Shout out to Castro and Sons Solar, La Cocina Taco Truck, and Special Leaf Tea. Plus, we love you out there. Locked On Spurs. Jeff Garcia does a fantastic job out there. Again, we're going to announce a winner tonight for our Amazon gift card. If we contact you or you're tagged on the winning side of it, we'll contact you or contact us. We'll send you that Amazon gift card, a $25 Amazon gift card. Winner comes later on tonight, guys. Appreciate you joining me tonight. This is Sweep the League. To Sweep the League again tomorrow. We'll see you later, Knuckleheads.